What's up guys, back in today with another reaction to the Berserk manga. This time I'll be reacting to volume 15, the chapters Red-Eyed Peekaf and Recollected Girl. Interesting, very interesting sounding names for the chapters. The Red-Eyed Peekaf, I've got absolutely no idea. But the Recollected Girl, very interesting, might be concerning. Either the stolen, perhaps a stolen girl being the kind of demon leader of these kind of elf insects. I'm not really sure what their actual name is, but they're not quite elves and they're not quite insects. All of her kind of army are mostly abducted children. So, and we did kind of hear from Jill that she was abducted as well. Not sure by whom or what kind of turned her into this, but I'm looking forward to maybe seeing a little bit of that in that chapter. Perhaps might also be relating to other perhaps collected girls. Again, I imagine it is maybe focusing on the main kind of demon that we're against. But some very interesting stuff in the last couple of chapters. Again, the Jill and kind of main demon relationship that we had no idea about till Jill kind of stood in the way in the first chapter last episode. I think it was that was it. Yeah, right here. Kind of stood in the way. She we heard from her that they're actually friends before this demon was taken away. Had some very horrific images. Obviously, Guts took her hostage as well last episode. But I think we ended off with Guts' baby coming back, didn't we? Yeah, there he is again. We also looked at some of the previous chapters where he was involved. Just chilling, just chilling there, haunting Guts. Obviously, all these kids haunting Guts as well. Again, there's a lot of dead kids in this show, isn't there? Oh, I don't even think I put that together. Might have actually been Guts' baby showing these images, these dead kids. Maybe showing, maybe just, I'm not sure. Again, I can't really tell what this baby's thinking because he hasn't said anything. It could just be that he's a baby with like very little kind of common thoughts, but seems pretty demonic if he actually was the well, he's a bit of a demon. If he was the one that kind of brought this image upon Guts right here of all these kids dying, and it would be quite fitting because Guts obviously wanted to kill him as a very much newborn baby as well. So I was gonna say I might be kind of spite him for that. Kind of bring up these horrible images, but very interesting to see where this baby stuff goes. But yeah, let's get right into these chapters. Do let me know what you guys think of this episode down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did like this video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date with my Berserk reactions. And we'll get right into it. It's like it's on the fire as well. Like it's not actually there, is it? Guts' baby, or perhaps it is. Again, it's, who knows? Like, it could be a figment of his imagination, which I doubt. It could also be what I kind of said last. I'm not really sure how this works. Again, I'm not really 100% sure on the rules, but the kind of the world between the living and the dead, and those dead coming to the world of the living, is a kind of something like that where it's there, but it's not kind of fully material, where it can be kind of hurt by that fire, perhaps. Or perhaps it is. Third option is perhaps it is just there and it's just unaffected. Who knows? That looks like Koichi from from JoJo's Part 4. There's one of the he's a little burning kid walking up to Guts. I mean, it's not Guts' fault this happened. I mean, he killed them, but better than them living as those horrible little insect elves, in my opinion. Like the people that abducted them, the demons that abducted them, is the like Guts shouldn't be feeling too bad about this, but ultimately he is slaying a kid, so there is that as well. just whacks him. And yeah, about the snake scene last time as well. Turns out, I think, from what the comment said, he was just eating a snake. It wasn't for the venom or anything. He was just eating a snake just for tea, which is very ruthless, isn't it? Like I was thinking of so many things, trying to be smart, but yeah, it turns out it was literally just as it looked. It was just eating a snake. I mean, I think you can not blame me for just like overlooking that. No, it's not often. I don't think I've actually ever seen a snake eaten like that in anime, movies, or anything. I mean, I've seen snakes on a plane and such, but I mean, that's got no snake eating or anything. Well, it's got snakes eating. That's not got eating snakes. Man, there was a lot of hype about that movie when it came out. I was really young. I think it's a remake. Sam Jackson. That puke. Take it, that's puke. It's funny, there's not much of it, but there wouldn't be with there. All he's there is a snake. And he is still poisoned as well, isn't he? Almost forgot about that. If only he actually let Puck help him. These sad kids are still screaming. Bastard. Calling his own son a bastard. Old 1-year-old son a bastard. Oh, that's horrible right there, doesn't it? The fetus. A pitch black eye. As he goes to kill it again. Flies up. You really know how to get under my skin. It does. I think that was puke. You'd make me babysit brats all night while I puke up this blood. That's a bit of puked up blood, okay. Fair enough. If it takes me all night to cough this stuff up, at least I'll be able to pass out in mud in the mud come morning. Wow, that's a horrible thing to look forward to, isn't it? I'm looking forward to passing out from the horrible blood throw-ups, so I can at least get a little bit of sleep in the mud in the morning. Makes a lot of problems nowadays seem very small, doesn't it? When that's something someone's looking forward to. A horrible face as well. Again, I love the expressions Guts makes ever since the eclipse. Again, very drastically different from the prototype chapter I had a few episodes ago. A lot better in my opinion now. Again, I kind of thought I found him a little bit cheesy in that chapter. Yeah, no sweat. No beast will ever attack you if you're an elf. If you're with an elf. I'm not sure what he's doing here. Mean. Like some kind of robot. You guys mentioned he does a lot of references. I haven't found any I know just yet, but probably a reference right there, I imagine. There's a scary old wolf. Wonder why that is though. No animal will attack. No beast ever in general. That's interesting, isn't it? Why does that work like that? Elves are just kind of one with the nature, I guess, perhaps. Is he really an elf, I wonder? Or just some shady creature? To be fair, her kind of vision and sight of elves, as well as our village, is very kind of mixed up, isn't it? From what it seems. I mean, their whole experiences with elves are getting attacked and fucking getting their children stolen by them, so understandable. Idiot response. This heading. Hey, is this okay though, Jill? Is what? You know, even if you are with me, ain't bad news. Ain't it bad news for a girl to be out this late? Besides, they're not elves. They're dangerous, like monsters. Guts being how he is, you can't depend on him. And it's not like that queen is going to become human again if you go to her. You might regret this. Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? Is that like a certainty that no one can ever return from being a demon? Like we've never seen anything that could kind of lead us to believe that that's possible. So now knowing how dark Berserk is, I think that very much is the case, isn't it? Once you do turn into a demon, once you are kind of dead, that is it. It's no returning. Well, I say that there is kind of returning from the dead in the form of a demon and these kind of evil spirits, but no returning to being a human. I think that's a big point in this, isn't it? Once you lose your humanity, you can never go back. Kind of the same in the real world. In a different way. With laws and such. I'm sure I would regret it, but whether I'd follow him after this anyway, or gone back to the village instead, either way, probably. But right now, I've already come this far. Jill, look! Oh wait, so they are actually, like, real? Okay. To be fair, from this it almost looks like a bunch of the elves are attacking, but that's not quite the case. Again, guts going berserk. He's slapping the shit out of these kids. I like how they're almost kind of like pure white as well a little bit. Obviously it's represent the fire, but almost kind of represents how innocent these kids were. Fortunately. Look at that face. It's a bunch of emotions right there, isn't it? As we're doing what we do best. Slashing. Swiping. Mummy, where are... Horror, isn't it? Surely the fucking people in the village would rather all the fucking parents and mums and dads die protecting their children rather than just readily letting their children get taken by these things. I'm not a parent or anything, but if I was personally, I'd 100% put my life on the line for my child, maybe someone else's child as well. I mean, they represent the future, they represent a kind of hope, which is again a kind of pure light like this. So it's pretty disgraceful from the village, honestly, that they just got so many adults alive. Again, I'd personally, if I was every adult, say I was like the same person, like 100 bodies, that village would be out of adults by the time they got to the children, rather than fucking just everyone hiding. But I guess that's maybe not smart. What are guts? Damn, that is a cool shot. Yeah, and can't enjoy it as much as we usually do just because of the kind of subject. I thought it was tormenting him. And Berserk's artwork really is just like top class, isn't it? I've never actually read like a full manga or anything else. I did just spit, by the way. Apologies. Probably got a lot of liquid in my mouth. Apologies if you saw that. Probably didn't catch it. My camera's actually looked quite smooth recently. I'm not sure what's happened the last couple of days, but the movement on it, like that, has actually been really smooth. It's quite strange. I haven't changed anything, but yeah, I noticed that the other day. So yeah, you might have seen it. But I don't remember what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, the artwork for Berserk. I've never read another manga. I've read parts of other mangas and like parts of that have kind of been skipped in anime, for example. But every it's just a slow start. Apologies for that. But yeah, every bit of artwork I've seen on like Twitter, kind of floating about and stuff like the kind of artwork they kind of hype up a lot of people and they kind of really enjoy. Maybe I shouldn't have started with Berserk, but the artwork they really enjoy and they find absolutely like top tier. It's just like an everyday kind of page for Berserk. It's really funny. I see like people getting so hype over like a picture, and for example, in the Tokyo Avengers episode this last week, people getting mad that the artwork in the manga was just so much better than the anime, which it was better, but it's like they say it's like legendary. Sure, I like Tokyo Avengers, and I like a lot of other manga I'm kind of referring to here in anime form. But it's just it's just like an everyday kind of panel, like a normal panel like this for Berserk. It's actually crazy the quality of the drawings from every panel in this manga here. Probably why it's regarded as the best, or one of the best. But yeah, I almost look back with my kind of anime style and watching like Full Metal Alchemist, for example, and Death Note and such, and I'm glad I started out with those shows because they're brilliant. But sometimes you're a little bit sad that you started out with some of the best shows from the medium. Kind of same with the manga here. Probably would get more appreciation if I read a load of kind of worse but still good stories beforehand. But yeah, just wanted to bring out that point that the artwork is absolutely top class again. And the best panels from this are very much kind of unmatched from what I've seen again anyway. I've only seen a few panels here and there on Twitter. It's no use. He's totally gone. Mummy. Looks like one's made its way over to Jill. Oh shit. Yeah, probably not best to get too close to Guts in this state, is it? Looks like he's actually just closing his eyes and just wildly kind of swinging, just full psycho, just hitting everything. As he almost hits Jill right here. To be fair, probably quite easily mistaken for one of these. Well, not easily mistaken for one of these little burning babies, but she's the same kind of height and such, isn't she? That was a close one though. Look at his reaction after that. Damn. Damn. Look at his reaction after that. He's had experiences of the accidental death of the kid with the mission he was on for Griffith, with the kid he accidentally killed. I feel like that maybe kind of evokes come back up right now. I feel like that was a big moment for Guts. He's kind of like shocked. It takes him out of this kind of berserker, and then he actually goes to just protect her, jumps over her body so she doesn't get attacked. He takes the blow for her. That's awesome, isn't it? I really like that. Again, just kind of these natural progressions and character kind of moments. Look at his face as well. This scene right here. Gets burnt. Mr. Swordsman! But they're out of there. That just explode. Oh, that's just Rocky. I thought that was maybe an explosion. Yeah, we jump away with Jill. Oh, yeah. And a rocky fucking cliff. Hey. Looks like day. Alright, nice. It's daytime now, so that's all over, thank God. Hey. Hey. So he shielded her with his body again. Move. You're heavy. A little bit of blood coming out. The bug with you? Huh? Oh. Sprinkle his dust on me. I hurt myself on the rocks and can't move. Not that I want it, but oh well. Yeah, at a certain point you got to question this dust. Where does it come from? is that his kind of trying to find a nice word for it? Urine. That's not really a nice word for it. But yeah, is that like his urine comes out as like the fairy dust? is that his poo? Or does it just like naturally kind of secrete off him like sweat or something? Yeah, I'd be asking, like, Puck, where's this dust you're giving me come from? I feel like you probably can't look at it the same way if it does come from a kind of dirty source. But finally kind of accepting a little bit of help here, thank God. I'm sorry, whatever, just hurry. Oh, sorry, whatever, just hurry. Why'd you follow me? Having to park. Just turned into like a little ogre. Peekaf. Huh? So what is Peekaf? Oh, is that the name of the girl? Peekaf, the outcast. All the kids around here know about that. There's a fairy tale. No. Long ago, in a village there was a boy named Peekaf with pointed ears and red eyes. His parents loved him very much, but he was always bullied by the village children because of his eyes and ears. They called him Red-Eyed Peekaf and Pointed-Eared Peekaf. Peekaf thought, this isn't my home. These people aren't my real parents. Understandable. But his parents loved him very much though, so... Or was he just thinking that about school? No, it does look like he was thinking that about his parents as well. Interesting. As the sprinkling commences. What do you do? Just shake him like a paprika. Get that elf dust. Or do you got like rub his body? Who knows? Quite cute, isn't he? Little Peekaf. Very cute. There he is. Crying. Because neither Peekaf's father nor mother, not even one person in the whole village, had red eyes or pointed ears the way he did. That's probably why I didn't think they were his parents. Interesting. Interesting mutations. One night, Peekaf snuck out of his house without his parents knowing. He went to find his own real parents and his own real world in which to live. He made his way alone into the forest where elves were said to live, where the grown-ups never said to go. They had red eyes and pointed ears. They certainly were the same as him. But this was what they said to the overjoyed Peekaf. You're one of us? No, not true. You haven't wings to ride upon the wind like we do. Seeing Peekaf's conclusion, one of them informed him of something. Long ago, a human man and woman brought a baby here who was close to death from the illness. We have broken the law of our village and entered this forest to save this child. This child is our life. Please, somehow, save him. The man and woman pleaded desperately. Oh, I see. Wow. Yeah, these guys do look quite different from the elves we've been seeing, don't they? They look a lot more like Puck. But I'm guessing this is that kid that got saved. You haven't wings to ride upon the wind like we do. This is quite the cute little elf here, isn't it? Was that a midget elf? Even to miniature elves themselves. Got Peekaf. They granted the request, using magic on the baby. The baby's life was saved, but in exchange, his appearance was altered to half resemble the elves. Even so, the man and woman cried tears of joy, as of course you would. It only mattered that their child lived. When Peekaf heard this, he ran off in a great haste. When Peekaf heard this, he ran off in great haste. With tears in his eyes, he went swiftly back to where he had come. But when Peekaf returned to his house, it was all too late. For some strange reason, even though he had only been in the forest for a few moments, in the village 100 years had passed. Oh no. That's awful. You're telling me just a couple seconds or minutes or whatever was at 100 years here. Fucking hell. That's ruthless. On top of a small hill between the village, where he no longer knew a single person, and the elf forest where no human was allowed to live, Peekaf the outcast cried and cried, his red eyes swollen even redder. yeah, I'm with you there. Not much of a happy ending. Not at all. What was that story? That was a Berserk fucking classic. That was. That's a Berserk classic story right here. A little bit of good, a little bit of niceness. The kid got saved. I mean, he got bullied and ridiculed and such, and then he got saved, and then happy ending is he made it out of the forest, knowing the truth, but also is now outliving his parents and the whole village. So I guess it kind of solved his problem in a very dark way, I guess. Again, that was not much of a happy ending at all. Puck in tears. Rosine loved that story. Why? What do you mean she loved that story? Who loves that story? Who hears a story like that and says, yeah, that's my favourite story? I love that one. Probably maybe someone similar to people reading Berserk. People love horror and such. Maybe it's quite similar in that aspect, actually. In fact, she once told me, I'm just like Peekaf. Interesting. That does make me very much want to see what she was like as an actual human girl. Because she is now almost kind of living that story a little bit. Not quite the same, but she is now an elf. Part elf. Maybe she was already part elf. Maybe she was who knows. Very interesting storyline going on here. Again, I was not expecting there to be so much kind of detail and backstory and such with this demon. Probably the most yet for any demon, to be honest with you, other than Femto, of course. Rather intriguing, isn't it? I'm loving this so far. Red-eyed Peekaf end. That was a great chapter, wasn't it? Again, quite dark. Went Berserk, not dark. Conviction arc, the Lost Children chapter. So yeah, I guess we now know why it's called the Lost Children chapter. There's a lot of lost children in this, both with the Peekaf and Rosine and taken children as well. I guess Jill was a kind of bit of a lost child as well at the start of this arc. Rosine was a girl 4 years older than me who lived across the street. To me, an only child, she was like a really big sister. So I guess Rosine's the one on the right. I mean, her ears are kind of covered here, but she doesn't really look like an elf or anything, does she? I mentioned more than a few times that Guts has kind of elf-like ears, doesn't he? Kind of pointy, very different shaped ears to Jill right here, for example. But I was kind of thinking during there, is there like, I don't think that Peekaf would have like, well, I'm not sure if he had like children or whatever. And I can't imagine him having children with like a human or anything, or an elf or with either. So I was kind of thinking that maybe there's so many kind of descendants of his kind of bloodline that have kind of taken those traits, but are still kind of more human than anything, but just got those again kind of maybe different coloured eyes or pointed ears, but probably not very likely. That's why I didn't say it. The Recollected Girl. Okay, this should be a very interesting chapter. Oh god, another snake. Oh my god, what is that doing there? Okay, we'll get to that in a sec. Rosine. I want to say Rosalina from Mario. Rosine was a little strange. She liked playing in the woods and streams like a boy would, and she'd do things like catch bugs and small animals to proudly show me. Sounds quite a bit like my childhood. Maybe not with snakes. Never caught a snake. She had lots of junk. The kind I haven't really seen many snakes, but I don't know. Have I ever? Maybe I've seen one or two snakes out in the wild in England, but I've never actually seen again more than one or two. Nothing sticks out to me. I've seen them in like been captured and such. Been captured. She had lots of junk. The kind boys would consider treasure. The kind boys would consider treasure. The oldest of all was an egg-shaped stone that looked like a human face. She said she found it on a riverbank and always took good care of it. So that was her behead it. That changed her into a demon, I imagine. Just not to the point of like a femto. Wasn't destined for that greatness. Good Jill's little face to reaction to that snake. Gut's not impressed by this. We'd play in the woods and streams so long that suddenly the sun would be starting to set. That kind of thing happened often. But when I think about it now, it was because Rosine avoided going home. Oh, Jill is so tiny here. Her feet are a little large for her body, I think, but that little lizard taken home. I didn't understand because I was so young, but Rosine's parents fought a lot. She was always the reason. Sounds quite a bit like Jill's parents, to be honest, doesn't it? She'd often have bruises on her cheeks and arms. At those times, she'd always tell me, "Jill, the story of Peekaf isn't really right. In the real Peekaf story, it turns out he really is an elf." Even now he lives happy with his real father and mother in the land of the elves. So she's got her own kind of version of the story. In her version, turns out he actually is an elf, so when he returns to his real parents. Which is a much happier ending. And to tell the truth, I'm just like Peekaf. I really belong in their land too. Why does she think that though? Mostly because of her parents? She turned to me as I looked serious and impressed and grinned in a funny way, like she was forcing herself to be cheerful. So this is that demon. Hard to imagine, isn't it? This is that same demon. Very interesting thoughts though about that story. And why she relates to that so much. Strange. I heard about this later on, before I was born sorry. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, how did you hear about something before you were born? I heard about this later on. Before I was born, my village got wrapped up in a big conflict. At that time, almost all the villagers had taken refuge in the forest and were safe. But it seems not all the women escaped in time. Among them was Rosine's mother. Rosine had to grow up listening to her father's remarks. Oh god, that's a horrible fucking panel right there. So is she born from that? That is pretty horrible. I think I can maybe understand a bit more as to why she relates to that story now then. That is horrible. Rosine had to grow up listening to her father's remarks. Like, is that girl really my daughter? Then, one night, when it was raining heavily. Doc, who's there? Shh, Rosine! Jill! This is goodbye. I'm leaving. Goodbye? Where are you going? Where else would I go? The Misty Valley. I'm going to the land of the elves. Farewell, Jill. I leave all my treasures to you. That's nice, isn't it? That's cute. Rosine. Farewell. The lightning cracks down. So good on her, to be honest. Getting out of that situation. Obviously not good on her turn into a demon, but quite the horrible environment to grow up in if what we saw a second ago. The grown-ups apologies. The grown-ups searched the forest and mountains for days looking for Rosine, but in the end they weren't able to find her. Then, oddly enough, a few days later her parents also vanished from the village, almost like they followed after her. There was a wooden box with all the treasures Rosine said were mine now. By looking through it, that strange stone was the only thing I couldn't find. Of course. Of course. Do you reckon she actually brought it with her, or do you reckon it kind of followed her to where she was going, perhaps? I do think she probably brought it with her, but I wouldn't be too surprised if it was, again, like a bit of a Griffith situation where it kind of... She did leave it, but it kind of ended up doing some Final Destination shit and kind of following her to where she was going. Then, sometime afterwards, those elves started attacking villages. I didn't really understand being so young, but now I feel like I do a bit. How Rosine felt then. Oh, for sure. Like I said, her home situation reminds me quite a bit of Rosine's. Quite a bit. Hey, that strange stone Rosie had. Was it like this? Look, like this? I do forget, but I'm kind of thinking that this came from one of the earlier chapters, first or second volume of Berserk, perhaps. I do forget, but I think there was a beheaded at that point somewhere. Again, it's been a while. Apologies, guys. But yeah, I take it we just got this, either the first or second volume. It's the same as hers. What is it? A freeloader at my place. And my body pillow Betchy. You're really hugging that thing, and look at it. It's looking like it wants to kill him. Look at its eye. Like, fucking dirty little elf. I want to kill you for hugging me so long. Keep me as a pillow. Betchy the beheaded. Totally settled in. How can you keep something that creepy as a pillow though? With these lumps as well, like mouths, and again that eye looking at you all creepy like that. Puck, what a strange pillow. This is a magic stone. Bring back my Betchy. A magic stone that summons angels who grant power to weak little humans. Little dig there, Guts, little dig there. Angels. They might just be demons disguised, but something like that. I think you're pretty spot on, Guts. I think you're pretty spot on, to be honest. Even I don't get how you use this to summon them. Angels to some, demons to others. Again, it reminds me quite a bit of Hellraiser. I think that's like one of the exact lines almost that's in that movie. Angels to some, demons to others. Obviously not just in Berserk and Hellraiser. I imagine it's probably got its roots much before those works, but your friend ended up doing it, and she obtained that pseudo elf form in exchange for something. Something? Funny that you mentioned fairy tales. It's just like Peekaf's eyes and ears. You've got to have some collateral for stuff like that. Yeah, I wonder what she gave up. Was it her parents? Like, obviously with Griffith it was a lot of people. There's this whole army, there's all the people along the way. But with her, it wasn't as big a scale. Obviously she's not as big a demon either. She's not a God Hand member. Probably a powerful demon, don't get me wrong, but she didn't give up like the whole village, for example. So perhaps it was just her parents that she gave up. Something? Funny that you mentioned fairy tales. It's just like Peekaf's eyes and ears. You've got to have some collateral for stuff like that. They require a sacrifice. Why is Guts smiling like that? It's very creepy, just me kind of peeking over to it. They tell you to present what's most important to you in return for power. Guts! A few days later, her parents vanished, you said. But why would her... If it was what's most important, why would her parents be... Oh, again, I kind of would have thought maybe Jill would be one of the sacrifices or something. But all kids, I guess, even in a situation like that, again, I've got no real experience. Perhaps even in a situation like that, kids still hold their parents the dearest things to them. Which doesn't seem like it should be the case from the outside, but again, never really had that inwards perspective on that, so things can become chaotic, of course. Rosine offered them up, have her own wish granted, her own parents' lives as sacrifices. Let's put an end to this. Why are you like smiling, Gus? It's quite the big moment for Jill right here, isn't it? She just kind of stands there and in silence. This ain't some kid's fairy tale like Peekaf. It's a gruesome, grown-up fairy tale. And if you stick your neck out any further, you'll end up dead. Next time, I'm not stopping my sword. Jesus, that is a sick shot. I love this shot. I don't like what's happening, but it's a sick shot, isn't it? With the perspective of the sword like this, you really get an understanding again how big it is and just the weight of what Guts is saying, literally on her shoulders, at her neck. I feel like you're chatting shit though, Guts. I feel like he's stopping his sword next time as well. We saw his reaction and he almost chopped her down. We saw that reaction. There was no hiding that. You can't hide stuff like that. Happens instantly like that. Your body just and mind just instantly reacts. And we get the true kind of Guts. You're not saying that it's all a lie or anything, but to the core, I think he is good, if you know what I'm saying. He does want what's best for kind of children and such. And Jill, much as he says he's not going to stop his sword next time, I feel like he would take the pain for her again, just jump in the way and stop. Actually, he probably doesn't want to. But if she didn't know what she was in for, I think this gives a good impression of what she's in for now, doesn't it? And I don't think she'll give up still. I do like Jill. I think she's a strong girl, isn't she? Quite funny, this. Kind of reminds me of that elf, that first one of those elves we saw earlier with the little pointy top bit, the smaller one than usual. Little leaf on top of her head. This is no place for some kid who snuck off from a loser father and a powerless mother to go wandering around in. You're a nuisance. Hold on, don't you think you went a bit too far? Let's go, Jill. This is very deserved right here. Oh, maybe not. She went for the slap. Fair play. Oh, I would have loved if that hit. A little bit deserved after that little fucking neck nonsense. I mean, not like it would have hurt that much, Guts. You could have at least taken it anyway. Better vent a bit of anger, frustration. Kids have their own fairy tales. You want to escape? Stick to Peekaf. It's not about that though, is it? You get back here now, says little Puck. What's happening here? Not really sure. Why's it got to be this way? You keep going on about kids. Well, excuse her for being one. This is child abuse. I'll sue. They're talking about lawsuits in this age. Bloody hell, Puck. Regulations are restrictions these days. Oh, sorry. Regulations are strict these days. If you keep doing what you please, we'll get banned. Hey, what you doing here? Is he talking in the fourth fucking? You call it fourth dimension? Not fourth dimension, is it? I forget what it's called. I never remember what it's called. But very much kind of like Deadpool-esque, talking to us as the viewer. I think that he's actually talking about the manga here, isn't he? He's talking about what the manga can do, and I mean, this is light. This is light for what we've seen in Berserk before. I feel like Berserk's got no rules or regulations, to be honest with you, which is a bit of a miracle. But I think they're a little bit more liberal than that in Japan. It's quite funny that they're more liberal than that in Japan, considering they're quite harsh on a lot of other aspects. Yeah, little combo with Puck again. So yeah, we hide him under a rock. You're as fairy tale as they come. True. Let me out, you little. And you never learn. That is a pretty horrific image of Puck right here. Looks pretty horrific. Trying to squeeze out there. Jill! Jill, don't let what that rotten creep says get you down. Kids can't be blamed for being what they are. There's nothing wrong with you or Rosine, Jill. It's just that kids always suffer, and it's society that's to blame for that. Yeah, but it's embarrassing and frustrating. Sure. By the way, Jill, I kind of got stuck trying to get out. Oh crap! Is that Rosine right there? I think that's Rosine right there, isn't it? Alright, Puck finally gets let out. This should be very interesting what happens here though. She's got quite a few of her soldiers there as well. Should be very interesting as to what happens here. I really like this design. Rose, as she steps towards her. It's quite funny as well. She almost became a little bit of what she loved as well, a little bit. She became an elf, along with a Peekaf story, but she also became a bit of an insect. Which kind of goes along with her kind of love of all that kind of snakes and such, and weird animals and insects that we saw beforehand. It almost became a kind of accumulation of it all. Like Jill's a little bit stuck right here. There's a fucking frog on her head. Oh man. A little toad. A bit. Rosine? Kisses her on the side of her head. Yeah, the frog jumps up, of course. That's pretty cute, isn't it? Maybe that's where all these kids are being, why these kids are being abducted. Maybe she feels like that's best for all these kids. Maybe she feels like they're better off like this, like her, as much as they are now kind of demons, and they're probably not. But if she did think that, she probably would do the same to Rosine, though, to Jill, right? And it's very intriguing. This is actually quite a cute panel, I think. A little kiss on the cheek, but a little rabbit on top of her head, just like old times a little bit. It's kind of sad, honestly. Feels like ages, Jill. Rosine? Is it you? The reunion. Honestly, those hands look pretty damn grubby. They're like man's hands. They're like demon hands. Yeah, I guess she did become what her wish was, didn't she? Rosine. I reckon she's actually being nice and such here, or I mean, it does kind of feel like it, doesn't it? It feels a little bit like they're old. The times we saw them together when they were younger, a little bit. Obviously, it's very different now. She's a demon now. Doesn't have humanity, so this is all very intriguing considering that, isn't it? Like I said, it was kind of cute, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's not so much. I feel like it's Berserk, so I feel like next chapter we're gonna do a 180. He's gonna do a 180 and just abduct Jill, use her, try and turn her into a fucking insect, have Guts kind of try and kill fucking Rosine. See what the comments are saying. Yep, just absolute rubbish right there from this person. Okay, not much of anything right there, as usual, to be honest with you. Comment section is usually always just talking about like the fan service or something, but yeah, new little ending page here. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Actually going to keep the headphones in, it's a very good song on. But yeah, really good couple chapters today. Again, very intriguing. I wasn't ever gonna, well, I was thinking at some point we would, but our major kind of focus on a demon has been with Griffith, hasn't it? And most of that was the time before he turned into a demon. We've seen a little bit of him outside of that, but we haven't had this much of a kind of look into a kind of current demon, have we? Again, apart from Griffith. So I'm really liking this so far. It's very interesting. I like this. We have to be fair. In the first couple of volumes, we looked a bit more into the kind of slug demon and such, didn't we? Here was another one which I really like the story of as well. That's what kind of got me hooked with the manga. But yeah, Rob, I really actually find this very intriguing to see the kind of origin of the kind of darkness and them becoming demons and seeing where it stemmed from. In this case, very understandable, isn't it? In most cases, it is very understandable, almost in every case. But it's kind of sad as well, them being so young and her making that choice at such a young age. Again, it doesn't seem like it's well. Again, it's hard to tell because she is a demon. She's another one of these monsters that we've seen, but she doesn't look like the others, which means nothing, of course. But also, like in these scenes, we've never seen scenes like this from other demons, have we? Of her just having playful kind of children fun with Jill, putting a frog on her head, kissing her cheek, hugging her, saving her. Well, not really saving her, but sparing her in the last few chapters in the last video. Some very interesting stuff, isn't it? Again, I'm really excited to see where this Jill and Rosine stuff comes. Where it goes. The backstories we got were absolutely brilliant, weren't they? For both, well, a little bit for Jill here, but mostly Rosine, and see a little bit of her backstory. The story with Peekaf as well, that done a lot for the story. Very interesting, but yeah, some really awesome kind of character developments and more story kind of movement in today's episode, wasn't there? Again, not much action at all, but I really enjoyed having looks into both of these characters, both having the exact same look right here. Again, their kind of parent situation is almost the exact same right now as well. Obviously not the same for Rosine right now, but from her past situation into Jill's current situation, a lot of interesting kind of thoughts I'm having about this whole situation, the kind of possibilities, but I won't go on too much longer. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy this one. Subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions, and leave some comments with what you guys perhaps think what could happen, what possibilities if your guys are kind of new readers as well, what you think that could possibly happen, or if you've read already, what kind of thoughts you have about their relationship here and them relating to each other so much. Again, I see quite a lot of myself in little Rosine here, especially in her hobbies. Not too much in her kind of parent situation, but again, that's something I probably will understand not very little about, because again, I've never been in that circumstance or that situation, fortunately for me. So that's probably the aspect I kind of relate the least to, so understand the least about it. But that is a massive part of this, isn't it? I don't want to go to that panel again. That's fucked. So her father is actually that one of these guys that kind of raped one of these women, isn't he? Just absolutely fucked. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this one down in the comment section, and have a good rest of your day, guys.